That music makes me think something really bad's about to happen.
I love it so much. As we record this episode, we are clearing our diaries to gobble up the season 2 finale of White Lotus tonight. And in case you missed it, this has become the cult hit show of 2022, just like it was with the first season in 2021. And it tells the story of a glamorous hotel full of rich people and someone gets murdered. That's basically the premise of each season. We will be doing, of course, a full debrief on the finale in Tuesday's subs episode. That's tomorrow. But today we wanted to talk about an article that's going around our group chats that was hooked on one of the storylines in this season about two couples who go on holiday together. And the article was called "Forget Murder, Being Made to Holiday with People You Hate is the Genuine Horror Here."
That's been my favourite storyline of all of them on this season.
It's so good, isn't it? And it of course, one of the storylines and one of the holidays that we follow are these two couples who go on holiday together. It's Ethan and Harper, who Ethan is a rich sort of tech whiz and Harper is a lawyer. And then Daphne and Cameron, he's a finance dude and she is...
Smiling a lot. And she works out a lot with her personal trainer. And Cameron and Ethan were mates at college, but as we learned, they didn't even really like each other that much at college. They were roommates at college, so they were sort of thrown together by circumstance. And they don't even quite know, at least Ethan and Harper don't quite know why they've been invited along on this holiday. There's clearly an ulterior motive.
And the couples don't get on together at all. And this article basically is about something that happens not just on White Lotus, it happens a lot, particularly at this time of year. And it's when you're sort of forced to go on holidays with people you don't like because of some connection. Maybe it's family, maybe it's friendship that, used to be great. Like maybe you used to be friends, but you've sort of grown apart. Maybe it's your partner's best mate and you just don't get along with him or his partner. And And in this article, it said, the second season of The White Lotus is filled with people having a very bad holiday. The show is ordered around extremely awkward meals with people who should be having the time of their lives, but are instead, they are families who are criticising each other over plates of cannoli and couples who are breaking up between mouthfuls of bucatini. I loved this and I could really relate, apart from also now craving some bucatini. Are these examples of forced friendships that are mirrored in our own lives, and why do you reckon we feel so much pressure to make them work? You go on a lot of these kind of regular annual holidays with friends. It's something that I don't do much. What
the most high pressure one, not high pressure, but the most interesting one is every Easter I go camping with my mother's group friends and our families, and
that's a long time ago.
Oh my God! Well, Matilda is about to turn 13. So we've been doing this for almost 10 years. And my Byron weekend with Penny and Karen turns 10 next year too. So I've been doing this for a decade. And the thing that's particularly interesting about the Mothers Group one is, a lot of your friends that you have in adulthood, you either met at work or they're old school friends or you met at uni or you have some kind of shared thing. The only thing that we all had in common, and it was the women obviously, was that we all had babies at the same time.
Which is a really random thing to have in common.
In a similar neighbourhood then. Although obviously there was a really big mothers group and then this is like a small core and we all get along really well, but we don't really see each other except not regularly except for this holiday. But the interesting dynamic you throw in there is all the partners, because we don't really know each other at all. Right. So it can be quite high stakes. And sometimes there are little clashes. And this may be part of the inspiration for my next book coming soon. But anyway, I think the key to this is, because I have done it for lots of years, every time when I'm watching The White Lotus, if I suspend my disbelief about obviously we're creating drama here, every time I watch those two couples sit down for dinner together every night in the same restaurant, I'm just like, why? Why would you do that? Like, the absolute key to holidaying with other people is you have to be forthright enough to be able to say, I'm going to go for a walk on my own. I'm going to go lie down for an hour in the room and read my book. Brent and I are going to go out for tea tonight, or like me and Betty are going to go, and like, you have to have get outs. You can't go, we're going away together and this is 24/7 for a week. Like, that is crazy.
Holly, there are
not to mention all of the beautiful restaurants that must be in that village. You see, I'm food focused, so every time I watch that show, I'm just like, why are they not going and eating in some of the other lovely restaurants? But you have, the only way to survive these kind of things is, and because I find it very stressful, that level of constant low level of socializing, depending on my mood. So I'll get up early and go for a walk by myself, or I'll go, you know what, I've got to go to the shops. I've got to go and buy the blah blah for the blah blah.
We've talked about, Jessie, the rules of the etiquette of going on holiday with friends. But this is about when you're forced on holidays with people you don't like, which is different to what you're talking about, Hol, because I think all those things are really valid. But there are some times when you might be the partner and it's your partner's, friend, or you with two families and you don't like some of them, or
there are some.
Then what happens?
Well, what I think's funny about that, Holly, is that people you don't like tend to do really unusual things you really don't like, such as not allow you to have that
so
time.
you go, I'm going for a walk, and they go, oh, I'd love to come for a walk.
Let me grab my sunscreen. Oh, okay, that was my out.
That's true.
And we're not reading each other's social cues. So I remember having this years ago, and just it was excruciating. Like, it ruins a whole holiday. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're in the company of someone that you don't get along with, and I found this earlier on when I would, say, go on a holiday with a partner, and it would be all his mates, and then they would throw the girlfriends together as though just because we had vaginas, we'd all have a lot I I'd go, I just don't have a lot in. And
see, I wouldn't go on that holiday.
Yeah, see, I did, and I would sit there with someone who would... I remember things like I'd say what I was studying at uni, and she'd be like, I thought about studying that, but then I realised that, it would make me pretty much unemployable, so I didn't. And it is just cutting comments just the whole time, and you're like, am I mad, or does this person hate me? And there's a great line in that article that I reckon every couple has said these words to each other, which is you and this is after you might go out to dinner or you might meet someone or whatever, and someone says, they're not our people. And I think that it's complicated because you're trying as a couple to navigate who your tribe is. And there's such high stakes when you meet their friends and their partners that often they are their people, but they're not yours.
Yes.
Which is really
You might have
awkward.
like one friend in common, but you've got nothing in common with each other. But the intimacy of being two couples away, I think you want to dilute it. I think that was the mistake that Ethan and Harper and Daphne and Cameron having a great time. They don't think they made any mistake.
Way too intense. And what it speaks to that is not portrayed in television enough is the inherent competitiveness of heterosexual couples. Because I think that we sit there and it's an incredibly social, we're constantly comparing ourselves to this other couple and going, is there tension between them?
It doesn't have to be heterosexual. I've been out with gay couples, same-sex couples, and felt terrible about my relationship. Like, it's just a relationship comparison.
One of my ongoing theories about Harry and Meghan. I've actually written a thing about this, but it's like there's nothing more annoying than the most loved up couple in a family.
Yeah.
Or a friend group.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because they suddenly make you all look at your relationships and go,
you're making me feel bad.
He doesn't look at me like that. Or we don't have sex that loudly in the next room like these guys or whatever. And that's, I feel like Harry and Meghan make us all feel that. Like we're the doom scrolling couples and they're swinging from the chandeliers.